Thursday morning. I'm working on the scenes. I have 121 because I added a little bit more when I was working on the plots for this first book of the trilogy. So I'm developing each and every one and assigning the series of conflict that goes on that scene to build up, like drama, which we love, and to keep them moving and to keep them interesting. After all that, those scenes I am going to divide them in their respective chapter, where the chapter begins, where the chapter ends. I will try to make them as the chapters short chapters because I tend to write long chapters. But for this particular story, I want to write short chapters. I hope this makes sense. But whoever has read my books before know that I write long chapters, like in Divine Ascension, which will be the English translation of Ascensión Divina. I have no idea if that's the one that, if ever translated in English, the trilogy will be named. So, in keeping with the correct translation for now, Ascensión Divina, Divine Ascension had long chapters, especially the first two books. So, I'm trying to write short chapters for this one and make them like flow. So, this morning and probably this afternoon when I return, that's what I'm going to be working with. That's a plan for this week. Finish that structure of the plot so I could start writing. Keep writing the next where I left off, because I already have like 15 or 17 chapters written. I always start like that, writing. I know what's going on, and then I go and do the plots. It works for me. That's my writing process. That note, I am going back to my writing because I'm meeting with a friend that is visiting Puerto Rico, and I'm very excited. So I'm gonna go now. Today is the 28th of August, and I have been working since 9 o'clock on the conflicts for each scene that I'm working on, that I already did. And yeah, just going through it one by one, adding any new ideas that comes to mind, especially something that for the dialogue of that scene, so I don't forget I have it there and it's available for me to just like, oh yes, I remember this. And if it still works for where I get to the scene, well, I leave it. If not, well, I'll cut it. So I'll be doing that for the rest of the day while doing some, of course, housework, because I have to do some housework. So I'll let you know how it ends. Hopefully I'm not gonna finish this today because I'm still on, I think, on scene number 40, and there are like 121 or more because I kept adding while I was doing some while I was doing the conflicts, and I added something. Maybe I'll cut it, but it's part of my process. So if I have a thought and I think it should be a scene, I'll put it there. I'm still writing the first draft, so everything is possible here. On the second draft, everything gets edited and some things get added, some things get cut. So right now, if I think something is missing, I'll just put it in and I'll figure out about it later. Especially some things that came to mind last night, but I wasn't going to take out the computer and start writing it. I just thought of it and kept playing with it in my mind, and for now and for me, it's gonna help my protagonist's character development and move her forward towards the second part of this trilogy. I keep saying trilogy, Alexandra. Trilogy. It's 12:08. I already ate while working, but I have to stop since last week my sciatic is not behaving as it should, so I'm gonna give it a break, do some stretches. I did until scene 57 with the conflicts, and I will return to it later on during the day. I'm gonna, like I said, take a break and stretch, do some cooking and pick up the kid from school and come back to it during the day, because it's gonna be, Mondays are long days for me. So I will keep at it. If, like I said, I'm not gonna finish this today, but probably by Wednesday I'm gonna be done, and then I can move on to Scrivener in order to move to copy paste the conflict and what's going on that scene, so I could be ready to tackle the writing. Or I'll just start writing and copy paste. I think that's better for me. I'll copy paste what's going on that scene, write that scene, and move on. Oh, I forgot, I have to divide those scenes into their respective chapter. So that's the step before Scrivener, and I think I'm gonna tackle the chapter with the scene, with the conflicts, copy paste it to Scrivener, and then move on, instead of just taking the whole thing, and because it's gonna take forever, and then like I'm gonna sit down to write like in October. So no, so I'm gonna do that. That's the plan. That's a plan. I wanted you to enjoy the place I'm sitting to write today and the beautiful fountain.